Ladies and gentlemen, come on in, come on, come on in, come on in. Yes, sir, yes, sir. I just want y'all to know from now on, this is how I'm going to be starting our live streams, man. There's nothing that music cannot fix. So, as everyone makes their way in, be ready for a super dope stream. Just enjoy the tunes, get your popcorn, like, comment, and subscribe while you are there. Get your favorite snacks, smoke on whatever you like to smoke, and drink whatever you like to drink. This is water, by the way, don't let the red cup fool you. But make your way in, make your way in. All right. There we go. Listen, it's your guy who is never lying, sometimes defiant, TP Wade the Giant. As you know, as it says in the title, we are doing player awards. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. This is something that I want to do after every season. This is something I planned on doing this past season, but I was so frustrated with our beloved New York Football Giants that I had to pause on this for a second, man. But better late than never, as they say. Let's get to it and let's rock out.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
You gotta stay for the camera.
Back looking in, go hit. Take down by Taylor.
Fire certified pioneer. Keep applying pressure to the foes, going closer than I pit. Closer than I dish. Keep away the giant here.
That's my quarterback, baby! On the ground, and then he came out of the pile.
He had what I call juke ability to make guys miss.
Inside, runs away from Bowman. Farmer to the 10. 5 spectacular touchdown.
Ball's thrown, and Tyree just goes up for it like a...
Clinton Jones is in the chat, nice and early, nice and ready, man. Giant salute to Clinton. What's the word? Iman Perry. Giant salute to Iman. Says salute TP, man. Thanks for rocking with me, man. Thanks for tuning in. I know that y'all are just going to absolutely enjoy this stream, man. If you haven't already, please make sure that you like, you comment, and subscribe. I also want to let everybody know I have officially started and opened the member doors, man. So become a member of this channel, and you will have the exclusive previews to everything, man. Behind the scenes, vlogs, additional streams, you name it. Become a member now, and we're gonna get things popping. Juke, Born for Sports. Thank you, man. Thank y'all for helping me out with this. How you feeling, fellas?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be on the stream talking about these end of season awards. That's something that blew over my head. I'll let y'all know earlier, man. The season was so bad. Towards the end of the season, I was ready for it to be over. So recapping it a bit, we still have to be objective and still talk about the team a bit and still have, some players to talk about moving forward. So definitely excited to do that with you guys and definitely ready to jump in on it.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
that's
sir. Yes, sir.
Too.
Yes, sir. I'm feeling good tonight. It's good to put this terrible season behind us, and this is probably the final nail on that coffin. But good to come in and kick it and chop it up with my guy TP and Juke, and let's do it, baby. I'm ready.
Man. Yeah, man, for sure. Big Dash is in the chat. Look, Dash, if you got some time, if you free, man, please, we would love for you to join us, man.
Dash was goody, Dash.
But yeah, hey, look, real quick before we get into the awards segment of everything, man, I want to know, what are your grades for different positions? But let's just start with the rookie class. Of course, you have your Malik Neighbors, Tyler Nubin, Drew Phillips, Theo Johnson, Tyrell Tracy Jr., Darius Marsaw, Elijah Chapman. What would you grade that rookie class?
Well, I guess I'll start. I think I'm gonna call it a B plus, and I
Okay.
would have given it an A if it wasn't for some injuries that that occurred to their group. You know, at the towards the end of the season. Obviously, Malik. I mean, tremendous year. Tremendous year. He had some drops during the season and some things going on, but I like the fact that he worked on that and progressed better, and the drops kind of went away as the season went on.
Yep.
And showed some leadership as the season went on. He was frustrated, just like us. And, he made maybe a mistake or two with the media, giving him a little bait, taking the bait, I should say, early when he was frustrated. Maybe dealing with the New York media is a little different that he's used to. But I like the fact as the season went on, he kind of said the right things and did not take the bait when all the vultures, all the crows and all of that was circling the locker room every single game as they kept losing. So great job by Neighbors. I thought he had a real good year and show he's quarterback proof. You know what I'm saying? And as a Giant fan, you got to be happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Based on the kind of quarterback play we got this year. Also our second round pick, Tyler Nubin, I thought showed some leadership, showed some toughness, played every game basically, all the snaps until he was done, showed some promise. And Phillips, I mean, he was one of the highest graded corners in all of football, and not just rookie corners, all corners. So really good. Loved what I saw from him. Showed some toughness, tackling everything. Theo Johnson, I like that pick when we picked him. I know maybe some Giant fans were lukewarm on that pick, but I thought he showed promise as the season went. And just when he started to hit his stride, he got injured. So that was a tough break for him. But all in all, man, I like what I saw from that rookie class. I'll give it a B plus, man.
B plus. Not too shabby. Juke, what you got?
Yeah, man, I'm right with Born for Sports, man. I give it a B for sure. B plus B is cool. I'll give it a B. Not dropping down from what he was just saying. I think when you look at it, speaking on Joe Shane's draft classes, as far as impact in the first year, this is definitely his best. And it's funny enough, ironically,
no doubt about it,
didn't have that much picks within this draft class. But when you look at it, the players started, right? Like them being starting players on this team was really good. Did we win a lot of games? No. Did it translate directly? No. But, there were starting caliber players that definitely showed their roles. As he's talking about, Malik Neighbors is obviously a stud, and we knew he was going to be a stud. But for guys like Tyrell and Tracy that we weren't too sure how he was going to pan out, hey, man, 1,000 scrimmage yards is not bad, especially after you lose a running back that we know. So Tyrell and Tracy
got to chill with those fumbles, though. That's the only thing, just the fumbles. Yeah. But
100%.
I agree with
you
you.
Said it. I'm glad you said it, because if I said
I'm not letting that go. You know me.
I think that pun intended, because he's probably letting it go. But overall, still, like he did it. He did his thing. He did his thing with the ball when he had it in his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so, overall, when you think about the other players, like he touched on Theo Johnson, I think Tyler Nubin is definitely a player that should be talked about more next year. And hopefully he plays a lot better next year. Andrew Phillips. Everyone was saying that Andrew Phillips was not a good tackler. He wasn't going to be a great pick. And the moment he starts playing, people kind of switch sides. It's very ironic. But overall, this draft class overall was very impactful. And, next year is going to be super crucial, right? Like they need to continue to build on it. But I think to start off, people are ranking the Giants top 5 rookie class, so it's good to see that. And hopefully they all transcend into next year as well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the real Multi in the chat. He says, salute to the chat and salute to my brothers. Yes, sir, man. Giant salute to the real Multi. Again, Dash, I sent you the link in the Twitter if you are free. But listen, I'm going to give this rookie class an A- because I really had to think to myself, if this rookie class isn't an A, then what will be an A? And don't get me wrong, I want to be a tough critic. Like as we do these grades and we do these awards and stuff like that, I'm not trying to bail nobody out or nothing. I'm trying to be that that stickler, that tough credit. But I did ask myself that. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give him an A- because I don't know how much better it could really be for a whole rookie class. You know what I'm saying? So when
I
we
agree
look
with
at
you,
these
T.
names,
I agree with you, T, on that. I would have given him an A2. It's just the injuries and things. That's the only reason. Trust me, you're not wrong on feeling that, bro.
I get it. So I want to do the same thing with the grades, but this time we'll just go down positions. So I'll start first with the QB, and I will give our QBs a D plus. And I know that may not be a popular opinion. I know it seems like I'm being extra nice, but I want to take into consideration that I feel like in the beginning of the season, I did like what I seen for parts of it, and I don't want to miscount that. Um, you add on to the Colts' performance with Drew Lock. I didn't want to just throw an F out there, and I think a lot of the quarterback play as well had to do with poor coaching. So I didn't want to go all the way down there to an F. And now I want to say not a D plus, a D minus. I'll keep it at a D minus. So that's me. Juke, how you feel?
It's an F. I'm giving it an F, man. I think like you said, in the early parts you kind of seen a little bit, but overall, man, we had the guy get cut. We had DeVito out there. DeVito gets hurt. Drew Lock comes in. Drew Lock. It was definitely a conundrum, man. I think we look at quarterback situations around the league, easily probably had the worst. And being the sour fan that I was towards the end of the season, and when we started, I'm never rooting for our team to lose, but the wins weren't going to cost too much. Drew Lock winning that game probably throws it even worse for me, man. We shouldn't have went out there and won that game. It's crazy, but nevertheless, I mean, when you look at it objectively, I feel like there's a chance none of these quarterbacks will be on the roster next year. I mean, DeVito maybe, but Drew Lock definitely not. Obviously, we know Daniel Jones isn't. So overall, I'm grading the F. And
you know what I forgot to say, and you just reminded me when you said that. Another reason why I gave it that is because I like the way Tim Boyle looked. I like the way Tim Boyle looked. Yeah, that's another reason.
I forgot. I mean, that was probably our best. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that, man. My fault. Go ahead, Jorge. It's on you.
Well, I mean, when you just answered it, I mean, like whenever you have a situation where you play 4 quarterbacks during the season and your best one is Tim Boyle, what's lower than F? I don't even know. Is there anything lower than F? I don't know. So I guess I'll leave it at F.
Tim Boyle wasn't better than Daniel Jones, man.
I mean, like, let's be honest, bro. Like late in the season, he looked it better at his little spot starts.
Did Tim Boyle look better than Daniel Jones in the Cleveland game?
No. I'm not. No, I'm judging as a whole of the group with the
okay. I get you.
But I'm talking more so late because Jones was already gone mid-season. I'm talking about like towards the second half of the second half of Garbo that we had to deal and endure between DeVito, Locke, and Boyle. Besides the Colt game, I mean, Boyle probably was their best guy.
That Boyle deep ball. I don't know if they let it rip like that. I'm just saying that deep ball in the corner of the end zone that he threw up for Neighbors.
Hey, that Seattle game. That Seattle game, DJ was lit.
Yeah, well, DJ had a couple of good games that were solid this year. I'm not gonna act like that didn't happen, but not enough.
And obviously, I don't want to talk about the season too much besides the awards, but that Seahawks game was like the one where I'm like, why can't we get quarterback play like that? Like that Seahawks game had
the Giants is always good for one of those games that you're like,
Always.
I don't even think Neighbors played that game, right? He didn't play.
He didn't.
No, that was the Darius Slayton show, right
Slayton
there.
tore him up.
That was a Darius Slayton
that was
show.
crazy.
Man.
But overall, I got to give an F. I mean, when DeVito got his chance, and let me say this, okay? I have to get this out because I was saying this for a while, and I think TP know where I'm going. All it is, let's stop all this. Yeah. I don't want to hear no more of this from Giant fans or any of that, okay? He showed he wasn't who y'all thought he was, okay? He is who he is. He's a third string at best. So you got DeVito, you got Drew Lock being Drew Lock. Like I said, that Colt game, I don't know what that happened that day, but he actually played. I don't know what happened. But then the following week, he got outplayed by a third string quarterback of the Eagles that we never heard of. So I can't even go there with that. Yeah, it's an F for me. It's an F.
All right, let's move to running backs, man. Running backs, I gave us a C-. Now, the main reason on why I gave us the C- is because we did a horrible job at holding on to the football. Tyrone Tracy didn't do a good job. Devin Singletary didn't do a good job. Eric Gray didn't do a good job. And just like a quarterback needs to protect the ball, the running back needs to do it as well. And his primary job is to do that. And I just think we did a horrible job when it comes to that. But the C also comes into play that, we had a gem in Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think, a lot of people kind of disagree with me with this, but Devin Singletary, especially in the beginning of the season, I really did like the way Devin Singletary looked. And I think a lot of people kind of, get mixed in the sauce and forget that. But outside of the fumbles, if you take away the fumbles, Devin Singletary run the rock pretty well. The Cowboy game was the only game where I was really upset at the running game, and Devin Singletary particularly. But outside of that, man, I think we looked decent. We looked pretty good. But the fumbling is just what brought it down. It could have possibly have been a B+ without the fumbling. So that was my main reason. Jorge, I'll let you go ahead and go second on this one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a B- only because Tyrone Tracy. I think he showed that as a rookie, there's some talent there. He was everything we thought he could be. Coming to the season, in the summertime, we kind of were talking about it, and we were saying, "Hey, man, don't be surprised if Tyrone Tracy ends up becoming a starter by the end of the season because he's got that kind of talent." And that ended up hitting fruition. So it's hard for me to just give it a C, anything but a B- for me. The fumbles, obviously, you hit it on the head. Too many from all of them. And Tyrone Tracy he's not free of blame. He cost us that Carolina game in London. And what was it, in Germany or whatever, when he fumbled and basically ultimately cost us the game. And it was a fumbling problem, but he's a rookie, so I tend to be a little lenient with the rookies when they make mistakes in their first year.
Hey, and Eric Gray almost cost us the Seattle joint.
I mean, he's awful. He's awful. Bro, he is awful. I'm sorry. Man. I try to give him a chance. He's awful. He stinks. He can't hold on the ball. He's not even when he returns the ball, he fumbles, and when he gets the rock behind the line of scrimmage, he fumbles. He is a fumbler. He has not showed enough. So and he was basically non-existent for most of the season. I probably only had maybe 25 carries for a whole season. He
definitely got outworked. He got outworked.
He lost the backup job. So I'm gonna give it a B- only because of Tyrone Tracy having such a nice rookie season, and I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for me. But Lot to like with Tracy, but Singletary, with the contract he has, it's a tough sell having him play the way he did when he had his opportunities. But like you said, he did play decent early, but ultimately he lost his job to Tracy. So it is what it is.
Big Dash,
what's
up,
you
feeling, man?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Chilling,
we trying to stay on a positive note, man. We trying to, not think of positivity, stay happy. We doing an award thing today. I've been meaning to do this, but it's been hard to think about awards when we had the season that we had. So I kind of got distracted with it, but better late than never. And I know this is kind of like, you didn't really have time to think of anything, but we're gonna throw some stuff at you to see how you feel. Listen, I do want to take the time to say, listen, everybody that is tuned in right now, that will be tuned in, that is viewing this, and I'm not just saying this because Dash is here, but Dash just put out a super dope hat. I already got mine. Mine should be in the mail. Mine is on the way.
Show that hat.
Make the Giants great again. It couldn't be at a more perfect time, especially when you think about politics and you incorporate that to how trash the Giants are being right now. Just a super dope idea. I like little witty stuff like that, man. But make sure you visit Big Dash, man. Go cop you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got the red joint. I seen you had the blue. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the red joint.
Yeah, it's a couple colors. Nah. I made sure that it wasn't just blue that I dropped. So because you can wear it with a bunch of colors. You know what I mean? Sir. It is what it is. It is what it is. But what's going on, fellas? How we doing, man?
We good, man.
Good, man. Sunday night flow.
I love positivity. Listen, I love positivity. Like giving out these grades, even though I know all the grades won't be good grades.
Yeah,
you're not going to be.
Right. Shout out to the Man Cave too, man. The Man Cave says, "Yo, what's good, fellas? Y'all smash that like button, subscribe, and share for all these great content creators." Yes, sir, man. Appreciate that, Man Cave. Get them right. All right. So we was at running back grades, Juke. I know you was next, and then Dash, you'll finish it off.
Yeah, man. I think teeing off of what Born said, I give it a B. I don't do these B plus B minuses. I'm gonna be honest. I like to keep it.
That's cool.
On.
That's cool.
I give it a B. Okay. And looking at it for what it is, right? Like TP, you gave it a C. That's calling it pretty much average. I'm gonna say we're a little above average. I think when you look around the league and look around at the running attack that everyone else has, I mean, granted, we kind of resorted to the run a lot more because our quarterback play was kind of bad. But Tyrone Tracy is a back that I think a couple other teams will kind of like want. I know the fumbles were there. I know the fumbles were with all of our running backs. And I'm going to be honest, if our games were close and the games mattered a lot more, those fumbles probably would have hurt me a little bit more and probably would have docked down the score. But once again, seeing what we saw to Tyrone Tracy, not only as a running back running the ball, but also in the receiving game. I mean, he left a lot that really imprinted on what we think of him overall. Like you said, Singletary in the beginning looked strong. And it's crazy because, as we all know, the Giants players always have injuries. He was a guy that doesn't really get hurt. And that's the only reason why Tyrone Tracy really stepped in. It's because Singletary got hurt here, of course, as always. But nevertheless, man, I definitely give it a B rating. It was above average. I'm excited to see what Tyrone Tracy can do in year 2. I definitely think we still add to this running back room next year, in my opinion. But overall, I give it a B, above average, and hopefully there's more we can really seek out next year.
Yeah, man. Look, shout out to Mike G for the $10 super chat. He says, "What up, soldiers? Had to take a break with Philly winning bowl. Needed to shut off football for a bit. Slowly coming out to see the light and get back into Giants offseason. See what moves we make." Mike, I understand, my brother. I understand. There's been times
from hell.
I'm telling you, man. I've been telling you, man. There's been times when I wanted to just be like, man, let me close this laptop. Nah. Like, yeah, I get it, man. But look, I appreciate you for the $10 super chat, man. Also, I want to throw that out there for people who is now seeing that and tuned in. That is a future that we added to the streams now. So because of y'all support and y'all doing y'all thing, we able to do that. And yeah, you're the second one. So you going in history books for that, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. Yeah.
What's up?
But all right, Dash, on you, man.
So are we grading the entire running back room. That's what we're doing, not individuals.
Yup.
Boy, I think I'm gonna lean more towards where TP was in the C's. I give him a C. Now, Tyrone Tracy was a pleasant surprise. I thought he had the capability coming out of college. I thought he had, that spark that I didn't expect him to do what he did exactly. Like, because he was almost like a constant too. You can almost depend on him making a play. So I thought he had it in him, but I didn't think he was going to show it that fast, and he did. So I give it a C. I can't do the same for the entire, like, I can't do the whole group as a B. I can't do that. We only got 2 running backs right now. You know what I mean? And the fumbling, I can't let both of these guys fumbled a bit. So I can't do that. But I definitely see the brighter side of things when it comes to the running back room. So I'll give him a strong C+. I'll do the pluses and the minuses. So C+. I'll give him a C+.
Yeah. We're on the same page with that. Look, Clinton says I give a C for the running backs. And Phil, look, I want y'all to comment your grades as well. I want y'all to comment your grades and let us know what's on your mind when it comes to these different awards and grades as well. But yeah, we pretty much.
Let me ask a question real quick. This has nothing to do with the grading and nothing to base off of your grades.
Yeah.
But out of the top, because most of the time you're seeing your top 2 running backs, right? Would you take this running back room this year or last year's running back room? What would y'all take?
I mean, man, I would take last year, bro. Yeah, Saquon there. Got to. I mean,
I'm gonna be stubborn and just say this shit, but you know what the real answer is.
I had to make sure everyone's mind was that.
It's hard to argue with 2,100 yards, man. It really is.
Yo, Clinton.
I mean, we didn't get that last year, but
Clinton, you gotta. This is like your 4th time putting dish. I don't know where like the I and the A is on your keyboard. I know what you mean.
Right? They're on opposite sides. You know that much. I know that much. They're on opposite sides.
They are, right? But Clinton showing love. Shout out to Coach Ed. Yes, sir, man. Giant salute to Coach Ed. I hope all is well with you, man. Definitely miss your content, man. Hopefully all is doing well with you and your family. He says peace and blessings, Kings. Yes, man. Good to hear from you for sure. So, wide receivers. Wide receivers is next. What I went first the last couple of times. Jorge, you want to take this one?
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go, and it's only because of one guy that saved this group. I'm gonna be, and you know who, Leak. So I'm gonna give it a B- because I'm gonna give it a B- because of Malik, because of what the production that he had as a rookie, knowing every week they coming to stop you, and with that godforsaken ass quarterback room that he had to fucking have thrown the ball for most of the season. Okay, so it's hard to argue that he's shown it now. He's quarterback proof, so I got to give him the respect on that. Jalen Hyatt, where are you? I don't know what the hell happened. I'm more inclined. I'm trying to. My instincts are telling me it's because of the coach, because he just doesn't use them. Okay, those are my instincts telling me that. But until I know for sure what's going on, he's looking like a bust right now. So it's hard for me to say, otherwise than that. Wandell, he's all right. A decent year, but for a 2nd-round pick, not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Just not good enough. You know what I mean? Now, he's not quarterback proof, so it's hard for me to judge on that. You know what I'm saying? So, especially the route tree that he's in that offense running, when you're a 2nd-round pick, I need more production than that. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It's nice to have all those catches, but the yardage isn't there. So the impact isn't there the way it should be. Some of it is the quarterback room. Some of it we'll see soon. I don't know. Who else we got? Darius Slayton. Now, anyone that knows me knows I have a love-hate relationship with this Darius Slayton. I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fan of Darius Slayton for a lot of reasons. He was all right. He's gonna be hitting the door. We all know the Giants are not bringing him back. So that's my grade on that. I have to give it a B- only because of the spectacular year that our rookie wide receiver had. That's it.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and confess, like, all right, when it came to the quarterback grades, I was definitely too nice. Now, for you, this is where you're too nice. All right. I think I'm going to give the wide receivers a D+. Now,
okay. That's some strong grading, but I respect it.
I know why.
You already know where I'm gonna go. The drops, man. Yeah. Everybody, has their, particular position that they, primarily may pay more attention to, or have a few positions, or whatever it is. We already know when we talking to Jorge from Born for Sports, point of attack. We know that. Me, I used to play receiver. I have a certain level of expectation at that position. Dropping the ball is just a no-go for me, man. It's just a no-go for me. I also want to incorporate the fact that expectations is something that I have in the play. So if these were a bunch of no-name receivers, right? Maybe I could receive it well. But when you have Malik Neighbors, who we know is a special talent, we know is a dog. He got the number 1 jersey for a reason. I mean, he's our number one guy. I understand he's a rookie, but still, you cannot drop the ball in key moments and key situations of the games and all throughout the year. Like
he did improve though as the season went on. I'll say that. I just want to say that. But you're absolutely right what you're talking about, T. No argument from me.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'll give you that. And look, we know what Malik is. He's spectacular. Like, he's special. You know what I mean? But what Spider-Man say? With great power comes with great responsibility. This is how I feel about that.
Right.
Wandell, he was maybe like the biggest disappointment for me. Like,
that's interesting.
I'm used to Wandell being the guaranteed catch. Like, I wanted that from him. With him lacking in size, you can't afford to drop the ball. You know what I mean? Darius Slayton, he had his moments. And I'm a Darius Slayton guy. I'm a little the opposite of you, Jorge. I love Darius Slayton, but I can't keep making excuses for him either. So not using Jalen Hyatt, him not doing what we expected for him to do.
Right.
I'm intertwined in all of this. This whole thing, man. So just this year for the receivers alone, I had to give them a D, and the plus is just for, I think, the talent kind of, the talent kind of helped them with that. But that's where I'm at with it.
All right.
Take it away, man. Whoever want to go, y'all go ahead.
Juke, you got it.
Yeah, I'll jump in, man. Yeah, I might get cooked for this, but I'll give it a C. I'll call it average, right? And I'm kind of leaning towards average mainly because of how high our high is with the Malik Neighbors. Obviously, Malik Neighbors kind of carries the grade overall. If you take him out of there, I'm probably calling it an F. But I feel like maybe we're being a little too nice, or I'm being a little too nice, cherry pick a little bit. I mean, Wandale almost had 100 receptions himself, as long as having a Malik Neighbors with over 100 receptions. Granted, was the yardage there? As we know, it wasn't. But as we know, the quarterback play was bad. Their quick game was kind of all they were kind of relying on, and little 5-yard option routes. But overall, when you look at the class, I mean, outside of Malik Neighbors and throw out Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton leaves a lot to be desired. Obviously, we could have utilized him a little bit better. And as we know, the drops came up with it. Jalen Hyatt, a lot of people still feel like there's room with Jalen Hyatt, and we need to see. I think he's toast, man. Jalen Hyatt, I think he's toast. Whether it's our doing or not.
See what Coach Dable did.
I'm glad you went before me, Juke.
Listen. I'm just overall, man. I don't look at the room and really look at too many bright spots going into next year as well. I mean, we're gonna have to add a lot of guys to this room. There's a lot of big turnover overall. Quarterback play has to do with it, obviously, when you look at the grades for our wide receivers, but If it wasn't for Malik Neighbors, man, I'm definitely dropping the grade. I'll give it a C average because of the guy.
Yeah. Listen. I'll say this. Malik Neighbors does carry the room. I agree with you, Juke. He does carry the room. I have to give them a C because for me, a lot of blame goes towards the quarterback play and also the coaching. I do think we have some talented receivers on the squad, but we don't even know because of how bad the quarterback play was. And for Jalen Hyatt, you didn't play him. Like when you look at PFF, he doesn't even have a grade for the year because he didn't have enough snaps to register a grade. That he had, what was it? I think he had 19 targets this year, 19, something like that. 8 catches, I think it was something. Listen, I was looking at it the other day. I forgot already because of how mad I was. Wan'Dale Robinson had 80 catches and didn't even crack 700 yards. I know that much. And that just goes to show you where the ball placement is. I watched Wan'Dale Robinson at Kentucky. He was a yak king with Will Levis, and Will Levis is trash. We can't whenever our receivers catch the ball, they either in the air, about to fall, leaning out of bounds, diving on the ground to try to catch the ball. The ball's behind them. They got to make acrobatic catches. Now, I'm old school, so if the ball hits you in the hands, you better catch it. That's how my pops used to tell me. If it hits you in the hands, you better catch it. But I just absolutely believe that it's more about what the quarterbacks were doing. And then also when it comes to Brian Dable, you almost wanted to trade up to get Jalen Hyatt. The first season we had Jalen Hyatt, when you targeted him, he caught the ball. He made big plays. I understand you had all the heat. The seat was hot. Darius Slayton is more of a guarantee than Jalen Hyatt, but you owe it to your draft pick to develop them. And we got issues all across the board when it comes to developing players. And I think that I watched Hyatt. I'm an Alabama fan. He cooked Alabama.
Let the call win up.
And that bum coach at Tennessee somehow was able to scheme Jalen Hyatt open. The same issues he had in college, he has now. But somehow, he's not strong enough to get off the press. So guess what? You move him around, you put him in motion so he doesn't get pressed. You line him up in slots so he doesn't get pressed if that's his weakness. I think once Malik Neighbors got here, and shout out to Malik Neighbors, because when you have a number one wide receiver, you target him.
Yeah.
But it was Malik Neighbors or nothing at some point in time for me. Malik Neighbors and maybe Wan'Dale on a short, shallow crossing route or out route, and that was it. That was the game plan, and I think that's what hindered the growth. But you got one more season. No, we got 2 more seasons for Jalen Hyatt unless we make some miraculous trade. You got to start using the kid because I don't think we're going to pay Darius Slayton. But I'm giving them a C strictly off the strength of Malik Neighbors. Yeah,
all right.
mainly for that Colts game too.
All right. Next is the O-line. Jorge, I can't do the trenches without letting you go first, man. So take it away.
Man, I tell you, I'm gonna give it a C. And the reason why I'm giving it a C is because of the injuries. Because when Andrew Thomas got hurt, once again, it changed everything about how they played. Because when this unit was healthy, they were cooking. They were cooking. They were playing very well. And I know a lot of people are going to forget about that. But early in the season, Minnesota, even the first game, we ain't scored a lot of points, but the O-line was decent. And it kept getting better with it, week to week with the chemistry cooking. It was getting better. The Cleveland game, Seattle, all of that. After Andrew Thomas got hurt, it just sent off just an avalanche of issues. And we all know that. And that's the problem with the team now is that Shane has not done well with depth. He can't draft offensive linemen these first 3 years. He hasn't drafted. I think all of them basically have been busts or not even on the team no more. You know what I'm saying? Evan Neal is unplayable. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, with those injuries came, you got to move guys around. So now we got Illuminor, who was playing really good at right tackle. You had to move him to left tackle. And then they tried to experiment with what's the name? I forgot his name at the moment because I'm so freaking angry thinking about this shit again. Where the kid that is a guard and they want to try to make a swing tackle. Azudu. Thank you, Azudu. Okay, Azudu. They put him at left tackle inexplicably for no reason, and it didn't work. So then what you have to do? You had to move Illuminor to the left side. Then he stabilized the left side. Now, guess what? Your right side is trash in a turnstile. Then you tried Evan Neal over there because he's a first-round pick, and God forbid, can we get something out of him? He stinks over there. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, Runyon never gets hurt when he's in Green Bay. But then when he comes to the Giants, what happens? He gets hurt. It's just bad. And I'm sorry, JMS is not doing it for me. It's too much now. This is what, year 3 or whatever with him.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It might be time to just call it. It may be just time to call it. It is what it is. He's just not that guy. He's not good. We need an upgrade at center now, in my opinion, because of that. Whether it be the draft or a free agent, to at least bring competition for him, because he gets pushed back way too much. Okay, at point of attack, especially when we're trying to run the ball, it's just not working for me. So. It's a shame because they was off to, and also I don't want to forget about the right guard also, who I want to bring back actually.
Van Roten.
Yeah, Van Roten was decent, man. I thought he played pretty good on that line considering what was going around him and all that. I feel like we need to bring him back, but that's a story for another day. So I just think because of the injuries, people are going to forget how the offensive line was playing pretty damn good early in the season when they were together, gaining chemistry in his unit. It didn't work out that way, so I gotta give it a C.
All right, Dash, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the grade that you gave him. I'm a little bit different in how I'm gonna address it and think about it. Obviously the Andrew Thomas thing is serious. You figure we've had him for what, 4-5 years now? 5 years. Yeah. He's been injured every year from his rookie year on, till now.
He's 2022.
Yeah. And he played for the most, but he did play a little bit injured though. He played through injury in 2022. But for me, when I think about the offensive line, I think about Andrew Thomas. You know that you need a swing tackle when Andrew Thomas is out there. You need a swing tackle anyway. But right now it's almost like a given that every year Andrew Thomas is going to miss some games. It's just something that we all expect now. And I'm not a GM. I'm just a fan, and I know that you better get a better swing tackle in here. I hate the musical chairs. I will say this about Evan Neal though. Evan Neal does not belong on the at the tackle spot at all.
He's a guard.
He does not belong on an island because he can't do it. I will say this: Evan Neal in a phone booth. When I say a phone booth, you put him in between a center and a tackle. I think he can thrive because once he gets his hands on somebody, it's over. It's just he got an issue with getting his hands on people. Yeah, that's why he should be playing on the outside. So I think that this is going to be the year where they actually make the move to guard for Evan Neal. And I'm not saying that you just give him the job. I'm saying to move him to guard to make him earn whatever he needs to earn to try to get there. I do think, like you said, Jorge, that we bring back Van Roten. I think we have to do that just as security, just in case somebody else doesn't work out. But it's been a New York Giants history for over 10 years now. When it comes to offensive line, it's just a place that we struggled at, especially drafting. I do believe when it comes to JMS, JMS has not played up to snuff. Where I thought he had a higher floor than coming out of college, because literally he was the best center in college football.
Yeah, man.
And I also say this though, to my point, how come these kids that play well in college get here and can't perform, and then some of them leave here and all of a sudden they can perform again?
Yep.
I got issues with that. So I'm not going to I give everybody 3 seasons. I gave Evan Neal 3 seasons. I'm going to give JMS his 3rd season, and I'm going to give Jalen Hyatt his 3rd season as well. And I'm hoping that the coaching staff does something that they haven't done before, is actually build a scheme around the player strengths and not just trying to make these players play a system that you want them to play. But I'm giving the offensive line a C- because Van Roten actually played pretty well. Illuminor actually played pretty well.
He was our best lineman. Illuminor was our best guy, in my opinion.
Easily.
And you know what? They at the beginning of the year, they actually did play well.
They did, man.
I do think that quarterback play, just like the offensive line helps the quarterback also helps the offensive line. And it all goes back to the quarterback at the end of the day. At the end of the day. But that's what I need to see, man. That's what I need to see. I just need to see better player development in a scheme that fits your players, not just you trying to run whatever you feel is good.
Shout out to Papa Lou, letting y'all know and reminded you to hit the like button. That is right, man. Please hit the like button. Make sure you comment as well, man. We want to get your grades, and do not forget to subscribe. If you are new, subscribe to all of these gentlemen, man. These are super dope, just content creators and giant channels, man, that you do not want to miss out on. But Juke, on you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, two gentlemen before me said it best. I'm gonna give it a C. And the more I keep giving out C's, I'm like, I'm throwing out these average grades, and we weren't even average. But I mean, Dash said it himself. Quarterback play matters. Everyone needs to realize quarterback play definitely matters, because it's not too bad around him. But overall, once again, definitely a C. Andrew Thomas getting hurt. It's huge that he got that contract, because once again, the biggest thing he was saying was, having that comfort knowing that he can get hurt and still get paid. And he's been getting hurt every year. We know what Andrew Thomas is. But like Jorge said, Illuminor, easily our best offensive lineman this past year. Him switching over, remember, he was going to start off as a guard heading into the season, switched out to right tackle. At one point in the season, switched out to left tackle to throw Evan Neal back at right tackle. He was versatile, and he wasn't the greatest tackle in the game, but he kind of held it up a bit. And then looking at it, the more we talk about, players coming here and not playing well for us, and then seeing a guy like a Zudu come in as a guard and be instantly put at tackle and barely get any reps at guard, is that mismanagement that I'm just like, man, I really can't buy into what these coaches got going on. And remember, everyone's blaming Bobby Johnson when he was here last year. Granted, I do think we were a little bit better this year. But once again, Andrew Thomas goes down, you start moving people around, everything kind of get out of sorts. John Michael Schmitz, like we were touching on, as a second round pick, man, you just want better. You just want better out of that guy. So overall, I think John Runyon Jr. wasn't terrible as a free agent signing. Like he was actually serviceable a bit. But if you compare him to the past couple years, Glowinski sucked for us. Glowinski was bad. Goes out and plays this year and actually plays solid for another team. That's the type of production that you're looking at, and you're like, was John Runyon great? So yeah, man, I'm gonna give it a C overall. Definitely average play, and hopefully we can get a healthy group next year. Like Dash was touching on, if they make that move for Evan Neal at guard, hopefully we can get the guy's talented, right? I mean, he got drafted in the top 10 for a reason, not to play guard, but he has to have some type of talent to make it in this league. There's no way Evan Neal is going to be out the league soon or something. So hopefully next year we see something.
Oh, you can mark it down. He's going to be Eric Flowers. You can mark it down right now. He's going to leave the Giants, go to some team, and he's going to become a good Pro Bowl type guard. I already see it happening.
It's wild.
Because this is the kind of ish that go on with us. Ain't it, fellas?
It's wild, man. It's wild because everybody else sees it. Like, everybody's telling you, hey, he should be a guard.
Yeah.
And then like, no.
yeah.
We're not going to do it. Just because you took him at 7 don't mean you can't move him around. Save him. Save yourself by saving him. You know what I mean?
And let's remember, I mean, this offensive line was bad, obviously, but I still think back to Kevin Zeitler getting cut. This guy's still playing right now. He was our best offensive lineman at the guard position. He gets cut. We expect them to obviously fall at the planet of the earth because we cut him, right?
He's a free agent too. Wouldn't it be funny if we brought him back?
Ben Bredesen.
That's a full circle moment. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh,
that'd be hilarious.
You see Ben Bredesen in Tampa Bay?
Yeah,
starting. Ain't nothing wrong with him either. Look at him.
Yep.
Better quarterback play. Better quarterback.
But thanks for the comp pick, though, Bredesen. We appreciate that.
I don't even think we got one.
Yeah, we do.
Did we get one for him?
Yeah, we're gonna get a 4th round.
Really? I thought it was just for McKinney.
I know that we got the 4th for McKinney right now.
I think it factored into the whole equation. You know how complicated that system is, but they said because of the Bredesen and McKinney combined, because of the free agents that we signed.
Oh, then it was worth it anyway. Then, yeah,
McKinney was an All-Pro. We should have got a third round compensatory for him.
We should have traded these guys. Listen, don't even get me started.
Yeah, we
don't even get me started, Joe Shane. Oh.
I appreciate y'all for trying to keep it as positive as possible, man. I appreciate it. Matt Customs, man. He says, shout out to the guys, man. Big fans of all of y'all, man. We definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Look, man, y'all pretty much said it all, man. But the only difference is I'm gonna give us a C-. The minus to me was necessary because of that second half. And I just think it's a depth thing with me, man. Like, in order for us to be who we want to be, we're gonna need depth, And that minus is really Evan Neal and Azudu doing pull-ups on that minus right there, because they're a big part of it for me, man. So yeah, that's that on that, man. Let's.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you guys are not going to agree with me on what I'm about to say about what I want to do because of that depth issue. Because if you sign somebody really good, guess what? Those guys that are starting become depth, and maybe they're not as bad. You know what I'm gonna say? Give me Trey Smith. Throw the bag. I don't care. I have to get that out. I gotta do it. Give me Trey Smith. I don't care.
Oh, man. Well, look,
hey, we just told you what happens, right? We just told you good players come here. What happened?
Yeah. I know.
I am not gonna hold them too much on it, but we saw what the Eagles were doing in the Super Bowl, man. They got to play him twice a year. Shoot, I mean, it's not his fault, but
it's one game.
It's not his fault, but I'm just saying.
They all had a bad day that day. That's for sure. All of them. There was nobody. You know what I'm saying?
I think we played the Eagles better. Nah, I'm kidding. All right, let me stop.
Oh shit! All right, so I'm gonna go to the defensive side of the ball now, man. We're gonna get through this. Look, I'm gonna start with the cornerbacks. I'm giving them an F, man. I'm giving them an F. I know there's only been one F thrown out there, and that was quarterback. I'm giving an F.
Wait. Dash didn't get to grade the quarterbacks.
I already know Dash is giving an F.
He don't change anything. What you just said. What you just said. We all gave him F's. There you go.
So, cornerbacks, man. That was a disappointment, man. But just like Malik Neighbor carries that weight in the wide receiver room, Deonte Banks carries this weight in the cornerback room, and he's a big part of why the F is an F. He's somebody who I spoke highly about, and I try to, I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I did say going into the season, I was a little nervous on him having that CB1 role. I thought that was a lot for his second year. And then, the whole scheme changes for him, adding to that. It just wasn't good for Deonte Banks, man. It was so bad that the man even cut off his dreads when the season was over with, man. Like, it was rough, man. And then, although I do like a lot of what Cordell Flott has done. I do like a lot of what Drew Phillips has done. Just together, man, it was bad, man. It was bad. So Coach Ed says coaching is where I mostly start. Low grading is due to the type of coaching and scheme/game planning utilized. I know youth coaches who could do better than this collection. Man, beautifully put. And I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't want to get into the quarterback, conversation, but this is how I feel about, a lot of that. I do feel like quarterback play was definitely terrible, but I give more of the weight to that right there. Coaching. Coaching was absolutely horrible. But yeah, I give this cornerback room an F, man. Y'all take it away, man. Whoever wants next.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm definitely giving it an F as well. I had better hopes for Deonte Banks, especially for his second season. As we know, I mean, he got drafted under Wayne Martindale. Wayne Martindale's gone, so scheme did change a bit. But overall, man, I think when you're a first-round corner in this league and the type of personality that Deonte Banks has as a corner, you got to be that shutdown corner, or you got to try to attempt to be. He always tends to be in position or kind of in stride with the receiver, but can't make a play on the ball to save his life. And I think him as a CB1 is definitely cooked. I'm looking to see another cornerback step in this room. Also, too, if y'all didn't know, man, go to his Instagram, go on his highlight reel. He got my voice in his video, and I still have yet got any credit for that video. Just putting that out there, man. Y'all jump on it.
Deontay Banks?
Yeah, Deontay Banks. Highlight film on his Instagram, man. My voice is in there. Try to get him on the channel. That didn't really work out.
Yo, you too humble for me, yo. You too humble. I would have posted that about a good 8 times by now, man.
I did. Trust me, I did. I got to the person that actually made that video. He said, yeah, he's going to. Yeah, no, nothing happened. So, I mean, the grade drops lower because of that. But overall, I mean, as we know.
Playing Madden. That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. That's literally what he's doing. But thinking about it, Andrew Phillips is obviously the better guy in the room right now that we're looking towards. But a key thing that I want to talk about with our DB room was tackling. I feel like tackling, we're not physical, especially on the outside. I mean, when you look at why we get torn up on the run, the outside is free. It's free. And when you think about a couple of our DBs, I know we talked about Cordell Flott, but as a third rounder in his third year, I just expected more out of him, especially because he was a young prospect coming out. Granted, we're gonna continue to talk about coaching, but overall, I mean, sometimes these players got to play, and it is cooked right now. So I'll give it an F. Definitely Andrew Phillips is something to look forward to. But overall, we just need to add more talent to that room. Deontay Banks is a CB2 next year, needs to be back, and we need to get another corner.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
Take it.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm giving them an F too. And I'm gonna give them an F because they got one of my favorite coaches fired. They got Jerome Henderson fired.
I forgot about that.
Jerome Henderson was the only coach, and this includes Brian Dable, that held the player accountable because he held Tay Banks accountable.
Yep.
When he wasn't hustling, Jerome Henderson was right there to meet him when he got off the field and let him know what he was doing. So I hate that he got fired. And then also, you can't tell me that you're praising Tyler Newman and you're praising Drew Phillips, but you fired a coach that was coaching those two guys. You can't tell me those are your bright spots of your draft outside of Malik Neighbors, because Joe Shane kept talking about Tyler Newman, kept talking about Drew Phillips, and also to somebody else's point, Cordell Flott is getting better. He's not where he should be as a third rounder, but he is getting better as well. I've seen him make plays, but I'm giving him an F strictly because I'll give Tay Banks a little bit of grace. When we drafted Tay Banks, we were playing man. We wanted a man press corner. He was Wink's guy. We saw Wink doing backflips when we drafted him.
Yeah.
We saw Tay Banks with Xavier McKinney coaching him up on the field as well. We saw him make a couple of plays. He can't turn his head around to save his life. But guess what? Jerome Henderson can't go on the field and turn his head around for him. That's something Tay Banks got to do.
Yeah, sure.
And the thing that makes me so crazy about Tay Banks, he's always right there in position. Mm-hmm. Like he gets beat. Like there's times where he gets beat where but a lot of the times when these guys are making these catches on him, he's right there. But he's put your hand up, turn your head around. You know, if you turn your head around, you're probably not going to get some of these flags. But he just continues to be stubborn. I don't know if it's a mental block or whatever, but he definitely got to be able to change. He got to help his coaches out. But I'm mad because he got Jerome Henderson. And look, Jerome Henderson got a job right away.
Exactly.
I think he was out there for about 2 weeks.
Oh, where he at? Where's he at?
It took him about 2 weeks. I can't even remember now. That's where it is. That's
Colts.
Okay, there you go. I saw the headline saying that he got picked up. But it is what it is now. But we probably going to get into this because we're talking about the defense. If I'm Shane Bowen, I'm looking at this team, I'm looking at this secondary, and I'm saying, you know what? Yeah, I like to play, zone on the back end, but I don't have the corners to play zone in the back end. So I need to make some type of adjustment. Either that or I need to teach these guys the scheme better. But guess what? You're missing a guy that's been in the ear of these players for 3 years for Flott now, 2 years for Tay Banks, and now we start from scratch. So shout out to the new coach we got from the Jets. But again, we're starting from scratch here again, and I don't like it, man. I don't like it. F for me for the secondary. Now, I'm sorry, is this including safeties too, or just the cornerbacks?
Just corner.
Just the corner. Yeah,
I believe, right?
F. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll just say just corners because I ain't want to group them together.
Nah,
just
yeah. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
All right. Is this on you, Jorge?
Yeah. So I totally agree with all of you. I have to give it an F. Tay Banks.
First
I'm gonna be honest.
F's.
Yeah. Like Andrew Phillips, and what's sad is that Phillips is the only thing that gets me excited about this room. And you know what? I try to give Floyd a chance, and Floyd has shown, something here, something there, but it's just not enough for a third round pick for me. He's too many years and he's, going to his fourth year. I still don't see it. Tay Banks, I'm gonna just say probably what you guys are thinking inside and you don't want to real. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm done. The quitting on plays did it for me. That destroyed me on that. I just say, you know what? If you're quitting on plays like that, then that tells me the immaturity is just a problem. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, like that said, Henderson probably lost his job because of that. And that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. And it's showing now that he isn't schematically proof. You can't, we have to really break it down. Like, what does he really do well? You know what I'm saying? Like that we could say, hey, you know what? This is a guy we can work with.
Hey, Jorge, I hate to cut you off, man, but it's killing me right now, bro. Hey, chat, y'all handle him, man. Y'all handle him. I just don't got the time for it right now. I'm trying to get through this. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Usually I would take the time out to give him the attention that he's asking for, but y'all, please, chat. And y'all take care of this.
Listen, congratulations, Rogue. But I'll tell you one thing. The last time you guys lost coordinators, you didn't have a very good year the following season. So let's see what happens.
I'll say this too, though. Saquon chose y'all.
That's all I got.
Saquon chose y'all. We ain't give him to you. He chose y'all. He chose y'all. So don't thank me for nothing.
Yeah.
Don't thank me for nothing. Thank Saquon Barkley because he. Listen,
my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Do me a favor. Make sure you thank Saquon too. You thank Saquon because he carried y'all to the Super Bowl.
Fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Y'all not beating them Rams without Saquon. I tell you that right now. In the snow. Come on.
Man. Like I look at it like this, Tay Banks, I'm done with him. I'm just done with him. I just feel like you're a first round pick, going into your third year. We shouldn't be having questions about if the scheme is right for you, if you can improve on your ball skills. The ball skills is what does it to me because, that's kind of like why you want to draft a guy in that position is because of the ball skills. You know what I'm saying? And he just has not improved on that. And it even makes me question whether he should be a corner. Maybe they need to position change him to safety where things are in front of him so you can see it. Because he never gets his head around on balls down. It's insane to me. And after he was quitting on plays and stuff, and I was in person seeing it, and then when I saw it on games on the ride, that did it for me. I said, no, this is not our guy. We need to address it in the offseason, come in this offseason and get us a CB1. So I'm out on him. I have to give this position group an F. And if it wasn't for Phillips showing promise as a rookie, I don't know if there's anything lower than F I would have gave this group, to be honest with you.
All right, so this is the first position group that got all Fs. All Fs. So rightfully so. No arguments from me. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna do this for Papa Lou, man. He wants to get to the D line, man, the defensive line. Juke, go ahead, man. It's on you.
Man. So the D line gets me because at some points you saw flashes, and you even look at for the people that love stats early on. We had like 16 sacks in 4 games or something crazy like that. We were leading the league, and we felt like this defense is right there. And obviously, we know that kind of fell off a hill. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. Man, I'm so torn. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C because it's hard for me to really say that this D line it performed really well. As we know, Dexter Lawrence is a premier player. He ended up missing some games towards the end of the season, but he had 9 sacks, a career high. Love what I saw out of him. Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, I just want more. I want more. And I'll be honest, I'm not that guy that, a lot of people felt like Brian Burns was a no-show all year, and he had 8.5 sacks. I think with the way this team was kind of sending themselves behind the sticks and they fall behind, they're running the ball, you don't get to see that much times that Brian Burns is able to rush the passer. And I mean, I don't want to like hinge on stats completely, but you look at his pass rush win rate, it was one of the top ones that we've seen. But I'm saying all this, you would expect it to be a B. I'm gonna still give it a C. Definitely when you look at the depth of the interior D line as a second, D lineman, we thought Chapman was gonna be something. Overall, a lot more depth is needed outside of a Dexter Lawrence. Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns, I mean, I even said it, they struggle with setting the edge as well. Setting the edge in the run game, that's definitely a big piece on why this team continues to get run over every single year. And we talked about it with our players, right? I mean, players come here, they don't know how to play, and things get out of sorts. Shane Bowen knew how to stop the run in Tennessee. Comes to New York, cannot stop the run. That's one thing that didn't change, man. So overall, I'm going to give it a C. We have household names. We have big name players. Kayvon Thibodeau might talk more than he, does. Shout out to him against Dez, though. I'm going to defend him against Dez any day. But overall, I mean, I just expect a lot more when you think about the cap space that's going to be, instilled in our D-line, the players that we have in our D-line. It needs to be better. I'm going to give him a C.
Man.
I got it. I'm gonna just get on this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta give this. I gotta give him a D. I can't because I gotta give it a D. You know me, I'm a point of attack guy on both ends. I gotta give him a D because why? Because we still can't stop the run, and that for me, at point of attack, I can't do it. Clearly the Dex injury hurt, no doubt about it. When you're talking about an all-pro, perennial all-pro, you're taking him out of there, one of the best players in all of football. Let's say that. There's no more one of the best DT. No, he's one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. I just can't. I can't go there. I can't accept it because when we got Bowen, like Juke mentioned, it was about, hey, we're gonna stop the run this time. Now, finally, we'll skip. We might not have the horses, but we'll schematically find a way to be better at it. We got worse. That is a big time red flag for me with the coaching, the scheme, and the roster. We did not do a good job against the run. Teams were just going up and down and just like, hey, you hand it off, you get 20 yards, you get 10 yards, you get 15. I mean, look at the Eagle game, for instance. We were playing their third string players. And they had 200 yards on the ground plus, probably more than that. Has some kid I ain't even heard of running for 100 yards. It was just ridiculous. They were terrible against the run. The only reason why I didn't give it an F is because when they were healthy and fully equipped there, we were we were actually leading the league in sacks for a nice little period of time. That's the only reason that saved this for being an F for me. But yeah, Brian Burns, he I think his year was incomplete. He did show up. He did have a high pressure rate in the league statistically. But like Juke said, we need more. We need more, especially with the contract you're getting paid for now going forward. And also Dex being out for the second half most of the year also hurt his production because a lot of the attention went his way. Kayvon, he got injured. And listen, it's just not enough. It's just not enough to be the fifth pick. He had 11.5 sacks with Wink the previous year. I was excited coming into the season. I wanted to see a step forward. He got injured. It was kind of just I give him credit for coming back during the season in a lost year, still trying to go out there and do his thing, but he still has problems setting that edge, man. He still has problems setting that edge and things like that. So we need more from him as well. But I got to give this group a D. The run defense is killing me. I'm tired of seeing teams kill us, and we actually regressed on run defense this year. So I can't give them love. D for me.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie to you. You may have switched my grade for me, man. After listening to everything that you said, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I gave him a B minus. And a lot of that was because of what you mentioned, of them getting after the quarterback at one point of the season. I like what Brian Burns did for us this year.
Me too.
And then when I think about the fact that Aziz stepped in when Thibodeau got hurt and basically, like, if not stepped up to the plate, even played better, you know. So I was thinking about that when I was grading them, and then I also was thinking about the fact that I think that this D line also looks a lot more dangerous if Coach Shane, you know, sends some dogs and sends some blitzes to help this D line. But I didn't factor in rushing defense. And when I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, oh shit, nah, he's right. You know, so I'm gonna get off that high horse from the B minus, and I'm just gonna stick with a C minus and leave it there. So that's where I'm at.
I got for me, they didn't live up to expectations. I'll say that. Going into the season, I thought, you know, you add Burns, you get another year Thibodeau. You got Dexter Lawrence with another year, and Dexter Lawrence is schemeless. It doesn't matter what scheme you put him in, he's going to perform. I'll say this though. When we got Shane Bowen, the expectation was we were going to be able to stop the run. One thing in Shane Bowen's defense, and we saw it on Hard Knocks when he got introduced, he told Joe Shane before the draft what he needed. He didn't get it. Instead, we dealt with Nacho, who should not be a starter. He should be a rotational guy. Shout out to Elijah Chapman for doing what he did as a UDFA. Shout out to him. He shouldn't be a starter either. Those are rotational guys. Jordan Riley, rotational guys. DJ Davison, a rotational guy. We have no real starters next to Dex, and we gave no help to Dex. So I just think we failed the defensive line in that aspect. I'll say this too. Going into the season, there was two guys in the trenches I said that need the most help. I said we got to get somebody next to Andrew Thomas that he can trust, so he's not trying to overcompensate for a guard that's weak. And I think we kind of did that with Runyon earlier in the year before he got hurt, but we never addressed that for Dexter Lawrence on the defensive side. We never gave him since Leonard Williams left, he never had that sidekick next to him. He never had another partner next to him, and that's something that I think with this draft coming up, the defensive tackle class is probably one of the deepest we've seen in probably 10 years. I'm not even going to over exaggerating.
Talk about it.
Joe Shane. Listen to me, Joe Shane. Come on. Joe Shane. Joe Shane, you see the hat, Joe Shane. Joe Shane, you see the hat. Listen, I need at least 2 defensive tackles out of this draft. I need 2 of them. You ain't got to pick them back to back, but I need 2 defensive tackles. Get your superstar some help. Before you know what's going to happen if we don't get him some help, he's going to end up like Myles Garrett wanting a trade because he can't win here. And I don't want to see that happen again, because how many players have we wasted because we didn't have a team built around? Odell Beckham wasted. Saquon Barkley wasted. You know, don't let Dexter Lawrence be the next one. Don't let Malik Neighbors be the next one.
Right.
Build a damn team. Don't just throw a couple of players together, man. It's a collage out here with no kind of organization. But that's where I'm at with it. I'm giving them a D. I'm giving the defensive line a D because the emphasis I put on stopping the run is where we need. That's what we need to do. And I also say this when it comes to Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns and the sack numbers. How about we play with a lead and see what we can do when we know the quarterback on the other team is passing?
That's right.
Kind of like how they do us, how we get bullied and we get all these sacks on us. Pause. You know what I mean? How about we play with a lead and we know that the other team has to pass? And let's see what Brian Burns and Dexter. I'm sorry, not Dexter. Well, Dexter Lawrence too, because he's sacking the quarterback too. But I want to see what Kayvon Thibodeau can do too when you can pin his ears back and go hunt the quarterback. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It always comes back to quarterback play. We got to sustain drives is what we need to do. Because guess what? And I'll say this too, because we're talking about how many times did the defense get the ball back to the offense and we ain't do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times you see these guys huffing and puffing because it's three and outs for the offense. No complimentary football, like my man TP said. We ain't playing complimentary ball. And once we can do that, I think everything is sort itself out. Because every time Dexter Lawrence needs a water break, what happens?
Oh, it's
they go quick game. They go quick right game. They go quick game, so we can't sub them back in, and they run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, it's 3rd and 3, and they just keep running the ball on us, man. I want to stop the run.
Yeah. Look, I wanna just breeze through safeties and linebackers because I do want to get to the player awards. I see us pushing on time. This is why we need to do this like right after the season is, and this really is 2 separate streams right here. But I'm trying to make it work, man, and get it, and better do it late than never. But
I wasn't paying attention to the time.
Yeah.
I gotta head out. Fellas.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
That's how much fun this is,
Yeah, it is. I'm about 28 minutes over the time I was supposed to be on. So I told my wife I'm only gonna be on there for a second.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Talking ball, we start talking Giants. Time just flies, man. But I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you, TP.
Man. Thank you.
You guys stay up, man. I'm I'll be listening still.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Gotcha, man.
All right, later. Sir.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all make sure that y'all make your way over there to Big Dash Knows and subscribe. Yeah, I'm a breeze through this, and we could get to the player awards because I don't want to hold y'all too long. I know my wife is down there like, yo, what is he doing? But safeties. I did give a C- to him. I did like what I've seen from Tyler Nubin. I mean, him being a rookie had a lot to do with that. Jason Pinnock, he's somebody who I really think is super underrated. I want to bring him back, but you're just gonna get ugly pay from the safeties if your whole secondary isn't right in general. And so I think it was a lot of that. And so I try to separate the two. And that's exactly why I did separate the secondary in that way, because I think the cornerbacks did deserve the F, but I'm going to give the safeties a C-.
I agree
what about
with
y'all?
I agree with you, man. C-.
Joe?
Mm-hmm. I'll make it quick. I'm going to give him a D. And the reason saying so, right, I'm a little salty. When you look at the running backs, we lost Saquon Barkley, but we had Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy got me excited. We lost Xavier McKinney. We ain't really had too much. Tyler Nubin, once again, I do think he's going to be pretty good for this team. I'm not going to say he played bad this past year, but simply looking at it too, we didn't get no interceptions for a long stretch from that room specifically. And I'm not even running into one, right? Like, and granted, I completely say it again. If we can't stop the run, teams are going to run the ball on us. You might not get too many opportunities to go get an interception, but yeah, no interceptions for that long, and our only interception was by a linebacker in week 1 or 2. Yeah, man. I'm gonna just give it a D. I might be a little too salty on that part, but keep in mind, I mean, Xavier McKinney had like 8 interceptions this past year. Not the safety's room fault, but it's just when you see a player like that leave and you don't get it back, it's upsetting. So I'm gonna give it a D.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that, man. Linebackers, I did give a D. Bobby Okereke, I just think he was out of his element, man. I don't think the scheme really complimented him well. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And like Dad be saying, man, I think Bowen just he tries to bring that Tennessee defense over here, man, and it just didn't work out for us. Now, I think I'm having a brain freeze, but y'all know who I'm talking about. McFadden. I think he did look a lot better, but I've seen a lot of missed tackles from him, and I've seen a lot of soft play from him too that kind of upset me throughout the year. So I'm giving him a D. Oh, Mosley, giant salute to you, bro. I see you, man. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Well, I agree with you, man. I give it a D. Bowen basically turned the playmaker at the linebacker position that we had in Bobby Okereke from 2023 into a coverage linebacker, which to me, it drove me insane the entire season. And it really took away his strengths. And I really don't think he fits this scheme because of that, and, I have a lot of issues with that. As far as with Bowen, and his scheme. And it's terrible. And again, not stopping the run, no way I can give the linebacker core any kind of a good grade on that. So, and it's not all their fault. I'll say that. Like I said, Bowen is a lot to blame with his scheme, not adjusting to his personnel that he does possess. Square pegs, round holes, that type of thing. McFadden, as you mentioned, he had some spurts where he did pretty well, but then there was times the missed tackles, man. It's alarming. It's alarming. And it got to the point where teams looked like they were actually scheming up plays for him to attack him, with the offensive line, a lot of wham blocks in the lane, everything. Like it was a lot of that going on, especially in the second half. So, I can't give them a good grade. So I definitely agree with you, bro.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. You said it. Y'all said it best. I'm gonna keep it quick. I give it a D as well. And like Jorge was saying, like Bobby Okereke was like a top 5 linebacker. It felt like last year. Like he was taking over on the defense. This year, you didn't really see it too much. I'm not gonna let him off the hook though, because there was some effort plays towards the end of the season. I'm like, yo, this guy was just trotting out there. I can't remember exactly what game it was, but he was just out here getting his miles in. I'll just say that. Michael McFadden, once again, I think he's a solid player, but overall, I mean, he's not the playmaker that Bobby Okereke was last year. He was definitely one of my favorite players on this team. So hopefully, like we're all alluding to, I don't want to hear nothing about no scheme or nothing next year, man. I need these players to either play or not. We got to figure it out. I mean, this team needs to win. They're trying to win, right? That's the whole motto. That's why we kept this regime here, right? To win next year. They got a lot of work to do. I just need to work out next year. I give it a D.
All right, so that is that on position grades. It is now time to go into player awards, man. Player awards. We're just gonna go through it different categories here. Please make sure that in the comments that you go ahead and you comment some of the guys that you see fit for whatever category it is. We're going to start off with Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. I will go ahead and kick it off, man. I am going to give Rookie of the Year to Tyrone Tracy Jr., man. 839 yards, 5 touchdowns, 38 receptions, and 284 yards receiving. Fumbles, 5 fumbles. We'll work on that. You know what I mean? He's gonna get better in that. But I was just super impressed on how he fought for his job the real way. That Dallas game, he woke a lot of people up. I mean, even in the offseason, he was making some noise. But then that Dallas game, he really, showed everybody that, listen, I'm here to stay. And then he took off from there. I was super impressed on how he handled moments throughout the year. So my Rookie of the Year is Tyrone Tracy Jr. Juke, how you feel?
I'm shocked by that. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I'm not mad, but I'm shocked. Listen. Malik Neighbors got 2 spots on our little list right here that I got for me. Malik Neighbors is the Rookie of the Year. I was definitely excited to have him as a player. I know a lot of people looking back are talking about we should have took this guy at 6. We should have took this. It is what it is. We walked out with a Class A player. And I will remind people, I mean, he did have a concussion that missed 2 games in the season. And even coming back from that, it was a little murky. Like it felt like, what are we doing? I know the quarterback is a point of topic, but coming back from the concussion, he kind of was struggling. I felt like where he wasn't getting the ball. You heard the reports where he was talking about day ball, and he still breezily walked into 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards. The guy is a beast. And I'm excited to see what he can do with the real quarterback on this team. The drops were a problem. I mean, we lost a game because of one of his drops. That's definitely important. But just keep in mind, man, what would this team have looked like without Malik Neighbors? I mean, he was the only reason we were watching the game towards the end of the season. So shout out to Malik Neighbors. He was definitely the rookie of the year, in my opinion.
Now,
yeah, I agree. Go ahead, bro.
I do want to say, I know that is a lot of people's answers, Malik Neighbors. To me, I did look at it from the standpoint of whose ceiling was just higher. And I felt like Tyrone Tracy gave me more of the, I don't want to say wow factor, because I mean that's what Malik Neighbors is. It's a wow factor, but he fought for his job and there was no turning back for him. With Malik Neighbors, it's kind of like we knew he was special. We kind of knew what he was going to do. We knew what he was going to be. And as far as like expectations is concerned, I think Tyrone Tracy kind of blew the lid off of that. So that's why I got that. But yeah.
I will say, as much as we knew what Malik Neighbors was going to do, or we thought, do we think he was going to play with 4 quarterbacks? I mean, we didn't expect that. And he still produced the way he did with all these different quarterbacks. So, like I said, I'm not mad at Tyrone Tracy pick. I just think, man, like, get him a real quarterback, and what is this team going to look like? What is Malik Neighbors' stat line going to look like? And hopefully like, to win it, right? Hopefully, it turns into winning. We saw OBJ over here, and it didn't really translate to winning like that. So,
but like Dash was saying, a good quarterback does a lot for everybody. So it will elevate everybody's game. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Real quick, let me just, Jorge, before you go, man, let me just catch up with the chat. Mosley says Drew Phillips. I'm not mad at that. Corey Johnson says Tyrone Tracy is a beast. That's a fact, man. That is a fact. Unpopular Opinion Sports says salute lieutenants. Yes, sir, man. Giant salute to Unpopular Opinion Sports and Aboriginal, man, Sports Network doing just big things over there, man. If you are not subscribed and tuned in to the network or Unpopular Opinion Sports, do so
right now.
Do so. Jorge, it's on you.
I'm going to just keep it short and sweet. I mean, for me, it's leak. I'm not mad at the Tracy pick. Honestly, if it wasn't for how spectacular Neighbors was most of the season and got better as the season went on, I'm not mad at that. I would definitely take Tracy, no doubt about it. But I just think you know what it is for me? I love the fact that like you said, we all know how talented Malik Neighbors is. We knew it. He was a 6th pick for a reason. We had a high expectation. It was, for me, the way he handled New York in his first year, the progression of how he learned little by little how to deal with everything and got better as a player as the season went on, despite 4 quarterbacks. I mean, it's very difficult to not, give him his flowers on that. So, hey, we all know what it is. Big piece going forward for this franchise. I'm happy he's here. For me, Malik Neighbors.
Not mad at it. The next on the list, though, is Offensive Player of the Year. Juke, I think I already know where you're going with this, but it's on you.
You know where I'm going with it, man. It's going to be Malik Neighbors again. And I'm going to keep it short, but I'm going to throw in a little different piece to it, right? Like, as we know, over 100 receptions. I think he had, once again, I think it was 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards. So people look at that and say, hey, he had all those targets. You expect him to have those yards, right? I want to remind everyone, man, go check that tape at LSU. He was a yak king. And over here on the Giants, man, we didn't really get to see that until the Colts game. The Colts game is where we really got to see him make some moves with the ball in his hand, because other than that, like, you just seen the targets. It wasn't too much of a crazy route tree that we were seeing. Whether it be, not enough time to throw the ball, whether it be, not throwing the ball accurately. we didn't get to see all the yak that he can produce on the field. And I definitely think we're going to see a lot more opportunities for that next year. Once again, you even ask him, this stuff is off the field, but in the interviews that he's been doing ever since the season ended, he said that he wants to even crisp up his routes a little bit more because he found himself like rounding out his routes a bit or trying to get to it quickly because he knew the quarterback needs to throw the ball to him quickly or there wasn't enough time to throw the ball. He was even speaking on himself. Once again, I think we just got a little taste of what he can do. And once again, I found myself looking at LSU tape not too long ago because with Jaden Daniels, I mean, they were showing everything with that connection. He was a dog at LSU, man. I'm glad we drafted him. I'm glad I saw what he did, but I still feel like we're gonna get a lot more out of him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely agree with you, Jude. I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna throw a little something in here that probably people are gonna be like, huh? Obviously, it's league first, number one, but I got a 1A for y'all. I got a 1A for y'all. Okay. It might shock some people. Okay. I'm gonna go Illuminor. If you really look at what this man had to deal with, first of all, coming into camp, as Juke mentioned early in the show, came into camp, he was supposed to be a starting right guard. Evan Neal not ready to play, gets hurt, whatever the case, they move him to right tackle. He goes to right tackle. He stabilized that end of the line. Even when Daniel Jones was playing, we really did not worry about that side of the line like we were in the past with Evan Neal. Like, oh, God, he's going to get somebody killed. Illuminor really stabilized that side of the line. Then Andrew Thomas got hurt, okay? After the stupid Azudu experiment, putting him at left tackle for a couple of weeks, they finally bit the bullet and asked him to move to the left side. What happened? He played pretty well on the left side. So, yes, the obvious answer is Leak. No doubt about it. The numbers speak for itself. But let's not forget about Illuminor, what he did, considering what was going on with this team on offense, how bad they were, and the quarterback play, and all the injuries to the offensive line. He's my 1A.
Hey.
A little out of the box, but you know I got to do it.
I actually like that. Man. I actually like that. This is where I give Malik Neighbors his flowers. I do give Offensive Player of the Year to Malik Neighbors. I don't even need to say much. I mean, we all pretty much know. He's our guy, man. He's our guy. He's special. And I am looking forward to seeing, because I don't even think we really hit the surface. I'm looking forward to seeing what's to come more and more from him. But yeah. Well, if we get my guy, Shador, I'm telling you right now, it is lit. So Malik Neighbors, man, you know, he's the one, man. He's the one. And I do want to put in a little side note, him at the Pro Bowl, you know, he kind of was showing everybody how special he is too, man, because even though it was the Pro Bowl, just him just accidentally, like his athletic ability there is just something to be in awe about, man. But yeah, unpopular opinion sport. Yo, now that I'm thinking, like this would have been super dope for unpopular opinion to be up there, because I mean, to have unpopular opinion with awards, that just coincides very well. But he says light-skinned Jermaine is a blessing for the Giants. Good answer, born for sports. That is a fact. Now, defensive player of the year. Jorge, I'll let you take this one.
You said defensive player of the year?
Yes, sir.
Man, real tough. That's a tough one. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. It's Dex, even though he was hurt. It's Dex. I can't give anyone on that defense much love. I mean, I guess you could give Brian Burns a little love because he was one of the best edge rushers in pressure rate this year. But, you know, it's tough. It's tough. Like I said, I'm big on point of attack. The run defense being so bad, pretty tough for me to give an MVP. Too much flowers to that side of the ball. I guess you could also give Drew Phillips some love, you know, but as a rookie. You know, but I'll just say Dex because, you know, just the awesome kind of player he is. And, you know, seeing us play that many games without him really does go to show you what how good he really is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, I'm just going to stay with Dex.
All right, I'm going to follow that up with the same exact answer. I gotta give it to Dex, man. I mean, we know. We know. I argue with people all the time. You know, I say that Dexter Lawrence is the best player on our team. He's just dominant, man. He's just dominant. And the way he approaches the game, I mean, you gotta love it though. Like you gotta love it. He doesn't, don't take those smiles and those laughs, for anything sweet. I mean, he is a monster, man. And I love how he's, for the team, man. He even got the New York Giant logo tatted on him. He loves this shit. You could tell he does. Just how he approaches the game, man. But
definitely.
Yeah, I'll keep it there, man. Sexy Dexy.
Yeah, man. This is where I come at it a little differently, man. I'm gonna give it to Brian Burns. I'm gonna give it to Brian Burns. A little different. It's a little different.
Hold on. I got a meme for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Here we go. All right, I gotta hear this one.
Let me plead my case, right? As we know, Dexter Lawrence is the easy pick. It's an easy pick. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all like you made the wrong pick by saying Dexter Lawrence. That'd be ridiculous. But I feel like what we've seen out of Brian Burns, man, I really feel like once again, if we get to a position where we can have, like Dash was alluding to, we have a lead, teams are running the ball all over us. Is he a reason why? Yeah, he's definitely a reason why. But there was definitely a lot of flash plays that we've seen, and maybe we want more consistent flashes. But think about the times we see him like slip out of a block, or we see it for our side. Quarterback bootleg. I remember one of the games he was right in the quarterback's face, ended up getting that sack way quickly. I feel like what we've seen out of Brian Burns is what we want to see out of Kayvon. Like we want to see that quick burst because that's what he was supposed to be. I mean, he was a top player. He was supposed to be a number one pick at one point, Kayvon. So overall, I think about Brian Burns. He had 8.5 sacks, and I alluded to it earlier, man. When you look up the stat, pass rush win rate, that's almost like a little tongue twister. Pretty much that stat is pretty much saying who beats a block in 2.5 seconds, a normal average time to throw the ball. He found himself in the top 5, top 6 in that stat, ahead of guys like a Myles Garrett. Is he better than Myles Garrett? No, I'm not telling you that. But I feel like we didn't get to see him ultimately take enough snaps to try to see that go to fruition. So I'm going to give it to Brian Burns. Once again, I do expect a better year out of him next year, and even Jorge talked about it. Dexter Lawrence is there for a full year. You might see Brian Burns' stats kick up a notch a bit, especially there was a portion of the season. Kayvon's out. You got Aziz, and Aziz produced as well. But I want to see a full – and keep in mind, too, Brian Burns, he also – once again, we weren't a good team, but he played through injury. He had like a groin/injury, like I felt like every other game. We were wondering if he's going to play. He ended up playing all the games this past season. So I'm going to give it to Brian Burns, switch it up a bit. I definitely think Brian Burns will do something next year.
Yeah, I agree with you, Juke. That's a good point. It's just unfortunate that we didn't get to see this D-line stay full healthy for a whole season to see how good they could have made each other, because it was signs of it happening when there was a time they were leading the league in sacks. Yep. For a good few weeks. It was starting to gel when Bowen actually had a clue and actually started adjusting his scheme to the personnel he had, instead of just sitting back rushing 4 guys. What a concept. But yeah, it's definitely a thing where we just have to see going forward. And hey, the sky's the limit if they can keep them healthy, because these are 2 good players entering their prime, and they can actually make each other better and push, with a little here and there and a little there. You know what I'm saying? But guys, thanks for having me. I gotta kind of run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I know we've been on it for quite some time, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, TP. Appreciate you having me on as always, man. Nothing but love for you guys. I gotta run, but good chat. Let's hope we got some better days coming. Off season, free agencies first, and then the draft. Let's go, baby. Get me a quarterback. That's
appreciate you, bro.
All right, guys. Thanks, man.
Have a good night. Yeah. All right. So speaking of Brian Burns, we have free agent of the year, and That's where I land Brian Burns, man. That's where I
Really?
land Brian Burns.
That's not. See, that's a cheat though, because that don't count. He wasn't a free agent. That don't count.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. He got traded. You're right. You're right. He got traded.
It was during that period.
I don't know why I thought
it was during that period, but
I
did just purely the signings. I did the signings.
Okay, who did you get?
This one was easy. I gave it to Illuminor. I think Illuminor. Jorge talked about it a bit in terms of offensive player. He was serviceable. I think when you look at the contract, I mean, he way outplayed his contract. And obviously he's kind of on the older end. Hopefully he doesn't regress. But definitely Illuminor was my free agency pick of the year. I mean, like I said, Brian Burns happened during free agency. I mean, so you could make the argument. I was just going to free agency signings, but yeah, I would have picked Brian Burns if that was the case. But
yeah, no, you're right.
I might have still took Illuminor, honestly. I really would. The value that we got him, I probably still would have took him.
And I thought that Illuminor was going to be like the consensus, right? I definitely thought Jorge was going to get Illuminor, but yeah, I can't argue that one. I can't argue that one. Yeah, so we'll pass that one. We have special teamer. For me, it was definitely Smith-Marsette. Look, we haven't had a punt returner, kick returner that could do like things back there in quite some time. And even when I went to the Browns game and I was just watching like his wiggle and just like how fast he could be, how comfortable he is with the ball, I was like, yeah, man, we need to keep him. We need to keep him because we just struggled in that area for so long. And then him returning the kick at the end of the season, that did it for me. So yeah, Smith-Marsette is my special teamer for sure.
Yeah, man, I got Smith-Marsette as well. Ironically, I had a year Asante on my channel. And I can't remember if it was on the record or off the record, but he brought it from Smith-Marsette. He was saying this guy is fast, like blazing fast.
Yeah.
And you've seen it on a couple of his returns, especially the one that he took back for a touchdown. I will say, man, like call me a fraud fan or not, I was not trying to win that Colts game. And when we opened up that half with that return kick for a touchdown, hey, man, like, we haven't seen that in so long that I'm hyped. But at the same time, like, we're not supposed to be doing this. But Smith-Marsette definitely, I think I like the consistency, right? Like, I can't even think of a time that a returner made it through the whole year, you know? So hopefully we have a solution with him and he's back next year and we continue to have him as a returner. Because I definitely like what he did. Honorable mention, honestly, I had to make sure I threw this out there because I feel like I always seen him running down the field and getting the tackle was definitely and now the name is Bryce Ford Wheaton. Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Okay.
I feel like as a gunner, he was kind of getting down there and making tackles consistently. You know, I mean, sometimes is that the brightest spot? No, but I feel like he was flying down a bit. I'm gonna say him as an honorable mention.
Okay. I like that. I'm not mad at that. What we have next? Most improved. I'll let you take it away.
See, my take on this one's gonna be a little interesting, man. But you gotta see the vision. See the vision. First of all, let's just be honest. This team was trash this past year. A lot of people regress more than improve.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it to Dexter Lawrence. I'm gonna say Dexter Lawrence most improved. A lot of people are going to look at me like crazy. What are you talking about most improved? How did he improve? This guy's always been good. The guy set a career high in sacks, 9 sacks. And people forget he did this early. Like he played 12 games, but I believe between the first 7-8 games, he had 9 sacks. This guy was going to crush, obviously, his career high in sacks. And we always knew, like, you know, he's a zero tech. He's a defensive tackle. He's a guy that, you know, he'll be able to make plays and pressure the quarterback, but you won't see him sack too much. This past year, he was sacking the quarterback at a highest rate that he had in his career. I really wish he would have stayed healthy and seen what we can do throughout the whole season. But when you look at it, I look at most improved. He even continues to improve. Like he's our best defensive player, and we know how much of a force he is. But getting 9 sacks, I think he led the team in sacks, and he only played 12 games. I'm gonna give him most improved, man. And that might be a lack of other players stepping up to be improved, but still, man, the guy continues to get better and he wows us every year. Dexter Lawrence.
I like what you did there. I'm not mad at that. And well deserved. Well deserved. But I am going to have to give it to Azeez Ojulari. 17 games played, which is the most career high for him. 28 total tackles, 6 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. When he stepped in for Kayvon, I mean, he was putting on. He was putting on. The way he was getting after the quarterback and the motor was A1. So Azeez really impressed me this year. And, you know, we kind of know what Azeez is at this point. With him, it's just about staying healthy. But as far as ability is concerned, you know, we know what he is, man. So I think I'm gonna get that one to Azeez. But all right,
should have got traded, but
you would.
We kept him and he got hurt. Like he was staying healthy. Get rid of him while he's healthy, man. But you know, I'm not mad at it. He definitely put on.
For sure. Here we have underdog. And the underdog is a player that you believe will go off next year that didn't have, you know, maybe the greatest year this year, or you know, wasn't really talked about too much. For me, I'm gonna give it to Wan'Dale Robinson, man.
Really?
I'm gonna give underdog to Wan'Dale Robinson. He disappointed me this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's somebody that I've defended multiple times. But with his drops this year, that is something that irritated me. That is something that definitely, you know, pissed me off throughout the year. I do like the way he attacks the game. He is an undersized guy, but he plays aggressive. And, you know, he knows how to break tackles, man, even weighing however much he weighs. You know, he gets flung around out there too. I ain't gonna act like that don't happen, but he gets back up and he goes hard. He just has to, he just has to catch the ball, man. He has to just be more reliable. And I think when that happens, he could be a straight problem. So I'm gonna give it to Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, man. I'm not mad at that pick. I will say, like, I don't know, man. I feel like he had a decent season. I know the yards weren't there. I understand that completely. But I feel like quarterback play and the routes that he ran, I mean, we just what else are we really expecting? It was crazy. But
I think he led the team in drops. Like
he probably did.
Yeah, so like that right there is like the number one. Like, to me, that's the one that kills me. So
see, I'll look at it though, and I'll say, I mean, look how many targets. I'm not trying to give him excuses, but when you get targeted that much, there's gonna be more drops than other guys. He got targeted a lot, and that's with Malik Neighbors getting targeted a lot. For me, when I look at the underdog, man, I look at Tyler Nubin. I was alluding to it a little bit early, right? Like I gave the safety room a D. I felt like we should have seen more of a production out of it. But once again, I can't compare it to what we lost. Xavier McKinney went, and granted, Xavier McKinney didn't have that many interceptions for us, but I feel like he did a lot more work that we didn't see in the sense of holding down the back end. Maybe quarterbacks were kind of scared to throw the deep ball with Xavier McKinney back there. Tyler Nubin, when you look at the stats, it's not going to tell you too much about what he did this past year. But I will say Tyler Nubin is a player that I do expect to make strides. People talk about it within house, talking about how smart the guy is, how much he's a really hardworking guy. And beginning of the year started off weird in training camp where Dane Belton was getting more snaps than him, and because he was coming off of an injury. After a whole year of an off season, after a whole year of install, I think Tyler Nubin should continue to excel in this defense. And I got him balling out next year, man. Don't be surprised when you hear Tyler Nubin's name next year. Once again, I think we still can see a lot more. I think we see a lot more.
Tyler Nubin, that is definitely a good one. That is definitely a good one, man. And I'm kind of a little disappointed, man. I don't have Andrew Phillips in here nowhere, man. Now that I'm hearing you say that, but yeah, I like that one. All right, we're gonna go with most disappointing. Most disappointing. I'll let you take it away.
Man, with this award, I'm giving it to Daniel Jones. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Hey, man, Daniel Jones not getting no awards on this one. I'm joking. Nah, but most disappointed, once again, I alluded to it earlier, Deontay Banks. It really burns me because I really felt like we had something with him. I remember during training camp, we're seeing it's funny because everyone was saying iron sharpens iron with Malik and but there's a certain point where you look at those highlights and you go, hey, where's the Banks highlights? Where's the Banks highlights? And you'll see it against Leak. He's even on him. It's just Leak is making a crazy catch.
Yeah.
And then you see it in the regular season where Banks is on these receivers and there's just not a play made.
It's so funny you say that because I was low-key thinking that as well, but I just didn't want to believe it, so I was kind of like ignoring it, right?
Yeah.
but I did remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was like it was that like people don't want to talk about it. Like, hey, let's not talk about who was guarding Leak. Just look how crazy these plays he's making. Deontay Banks for me was definitely the most underwhelming one. First year as a CB1, traveling on wide receiver ones, and I mean, if you go back to any performance, look at him against DK Metcalf in that Seattle Seahawks win. I remember leaving that week, and I'm like, yeah, Deontay Banks is making plays now. Metcalf didn't have any crazy plays that game, but Deontay Banks, I don't think he's going to be a CB1 on this team. And like I said, scheme or not, I know Wink Martindale drafted him. You're a first-round corner, man. Cornerbacks have this mentality that they're locking down whoever they guard. That's the type of mentality you have to have. And I still think he has that mentality. But like Jorge was talking about earlier, those plays where he was quitting, think about CD Lamb running to the end zone and Banks starts jogging. Jalen Hurts running to the sideline and Banks is just letting him go. That type of thing I just didn't expect that of him. I really didn't. So hopefully light a fire under him, put him at CB2. Little sneak peek. If y'all don't subscribe to my channel, if you haven't seen the video, Charvarius Ward, I want him on this team. I need another cornerback on this team to step up, teach these young guys how to hone down a cornerback position and teach Deontay Banks, man. We can't afford for another first-round pick to be a lost cause. Bring Ward here. Underwhelming. I'm going to give it to Banks.
Yeah, Charvarius Ward ain't scared to come up and make tackles either. So, yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with most disappointing, Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt, man. I'm going to give it to him. And it may not be the fault of his own, but, after his rookie campaign, I definitely had more expectation than what we had this past season. I call him Mr. Speed Kills, and I was hoping to see more of that. I still haven't given up on him. I think Coach Dable needs to make it his duty, man, to make sure he puts the quarterback in here. If that's what he says is the issue, he needs to put the quarterback in here that can get him the ball, man, because that is just too much talent to be sitting on a bench and not utilizing. So not necessarily to the fault of him, but definitely the most disappointing for me, man. I forgot to even send you this. Like I forgot to put this one, but we can't do away with this without having an official overall MVP. And because I'm just bringing it up, I'll go first. To me, we've been bringing this name up, all stream, but it has to be Dexter Lawrence, man. Dexter Lawrence, I'm gonna give him the MVP. Just dominant, man. Just dominant. Y'all heard it all. I mean, y'all know why, but yeah, I'm gonna give it to him, man. Joke.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm going full steam ahead. Give me Malik Neighbors. Give me Malik Neighbors, man. Listen, we know the player that we lost last year. We know the player that we lost. I know what Dexter Lawrence is. We call him Sexy Dexy, but when you think about the sexy player that makes all the flashes and touchdowns, give me Malik Neighbors, man. I want him to be that guy that hopefully continues to ball out. I'm like I said, 4 different quarterbacks this guy was playing with, still put up over 1,000 yards, still had over 100 receptions, and I still feel like we only got a little fraction of what he did at LSU. I think the sky's the limit. Give me Malik Neighbors. I gotta get the jersey soon. I definitely gotta get the jersey soon.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I got a closet over here with former players. I don't got nobody that's on this team right now, so I'm a little worried to get his jersey because the writing might be on the wall. But once again, I'll remind everybody of the player that we got. We haven't had 1,000-yard receivers since OBJ left. We had Evan Ingram. We had Golden Tate. We had Darius Slayton. Still nobody put 1,000 yards. We had a bad quarterback room that we just graded an F. If you ask Daniel Jones for other years, he's not getting an F grade, you know? And Malik Neighbors still put up the stats that he did. Yeah, give me Malik Neighbors as an MVP. It's the sexy pick. It's the touchdown pick. I'm going it to him, man.
Malik Neighbors with 3 categories right there. All right. I'm not mad at it, man.
The guy's recruiting for Stafford. I mean, I know we're talking about awards, and TP will talk about it another time, but the guy's recruiting for Stafford as well. And guess what? The whole fan base likes to hear that too. So make Malik Neighbors the president for all it takes, man. Come on. Come on.
All right. I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. Listen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to this stream. We pushing about to hit 2 hours, man. I appreciate the Juke, man. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for rocking with me. Please let everyone know where they can find you and all those good things.
100%. Listen, man, this year we coming differently for sure. I got to step up the content on all platforms. We got the Juke on YouTube. Search me up on YouTube, man, and definitely subscribe over there. I got a lot of dope content coming for the Giants, especially the draft coming up, but free agency begins first. Want to let everybody know, less than a month away from free agency. Make sure you're locked in on all these channels that we talked about today, but definitely subscribe over on the Juke. But you can find me on TikTok as well, the Juke, and stay tuned on my shorts, man. I'm trying to drop a short or TikTok every single day. We're pushing content on every single piece. And TP, stay tuned. I'm also trying to get other creators lined up for draft week or the couple weeks leading to draft. Because once again, I think this is going to be one of the most important drafts that we have for this franchise. I wish it was with a new GM and a new coach, but overall, I think this draft is going to be pretty important sitting at number 3. So I'm looking to get a couple different creators on there, a couple people that you might have seen on this stream. TP, once again, I'm letting you know, stay tuned.
Yes,
but definitely a lot of dope content to come. So make sure you subscribe to the Juke on YouTube, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna second that, man. You got to subscribe to the Juke, man. I tuned in to him all the time. And yeah, I'll leave it there, man. Yo, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you for letting me on, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Please make sure that y'all tune in to the Juke, man. That's my guy right there. He's definitely pushing out super, super dope content. Listen, like, comment, and subscribe. On your way in, on your way out, please make sure that you like, you comment, and subscribe. This is a 2-hour stream. A 2-hour stream, man. And how you could best help me is by doing your due diligence, man. Like, comment, and subscribing. Listen, we got so much more in store, man. The content is going to continue to be put out there, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. It has been real. Y'all have a good night. If you're on the other side of the world, have a good afternoon or whatever it is. On that note, giant salute to each and every one of you. Until next time. Peace.
Too official, blew the flag, blew the whistle, 3 words, 2 initials, T. AKA lion, AKA tiger, how we swinging 9, walking through the fire, certified pioneer. Yeah. Keep applying pressure to the foes, going closer than 9 pit. Closer than my abyss. Keep away the giant here.